A man charged for his involvement in a deadly drive-by shooting in 2020 has been sentenced to more than 20 years in prison. Joshua Brooks pleaded guilty to being an accomplice to murder. The charge of being an accomplice to aggravated assault was dismissed. At his sentencing hearing today, Brooks was sentenced to 23 years in prison, followed by 5 years supervised probation. The charges stem from the shooting death of Santonio Mariel, who was hit during a drive-by shooting in South Fargo. Court documents say Mariel was hanging out in a garage with two friends when he was shot. He was killed. The other two were not hit.